I'm Kevin Pittsnogle. I'm a principal at North Middle School, former basketball player at WVU.
Up top to Pittsnogle, fakes the handoff, stops and pops a three. Yes!
Oh, that was big.
College just happened. I had no intent to ever go to college. Neither one of my parents finished high school. So for me, it was high school was the goal. But then when basketball started to take off, I realized college was going to be the natural next step to continue to play basketball. Academics, honestly, was second at that point in my life.
He was the best 6'10" and better shooter in the history of college basketball. He shot 48% one year from three in volume.
A new college basketball verb started in New York at the Big East tournament and made its way across America in West Virginia's NCAA tournament run.
It's got officially Pittsnogle.
Every time he shot a three and somebody was on him, you'd hear the whole crowd, "You just got Pittsnogled."
I always said that, at the end of our wedding when we got married, that I should go and be like, "Hey, you've been Pittsnogled." And he is so funny when it comes to that because he's like, "No, do not say that."
Basketball is what I did, not necessarily who I am, but figuring it out is kind of where my story will begin. My dreams and goals have always been, from the time I was 12, 13 years old and really, really enjoyed basketball, was to go to NBA and play in the NBA.
He always had a basketball in his hand.
Always.
And wherever he went, he carried a basketball with him.
We didn't have one, and we asked the landlords to put up a basketball court because that's what he wanted to do. From the time he got up to the time he went to bed, he played ball.
I appreciate you stopping by to help tell my story.
It's been a while. Probably didn't spend as much time in here as I should have.
That makes two of us.
I think it's easy for people to develop opinions of personal bias and other things of, your persona that they know from you for basketball.
What a lot of people don't even know, and I don't even know if I've ever talked to you about it, is that the reason I stopped playing basketball, everybody assumes I just stopped playing because there was nothing out there for me. I stopped playing because I made a decision that if I wasn't where I wanted to be in basketball by the time my son was 5 years old, that I would stop playing basketball. And I couldn't be a person who chased basketball and a person who was going to be there for his son all the time.
I never doubted your priorities, seen you become a great father. That's the side of Kevin that people don't get to see.
I had a great structured upbringing. I wanted to make sure my kids had the same, and we weren't jumping from city to city every 6 months to a year, which is the life I was currently living. So fatherhood to me is being present, and that doesn't just mean physically, that means mentally, that means financially, that means in every capacity that you could be present, be present.
He would say over and over, "I want to be known as a good husband and a good dad." Being able to separate that is something that I really respect about him, and he's helped me with that aspect of being a principal.
So when I got done playing basketball and trying to figure out what the next steps were, all I kept hearing was, "Well, you're Kevin Pittsnogle. You were a great basketball player. You were this, you were that." So in my mind, I'm like, well, this career thing should be easy then. I can just jump into a career and I should be good to go. But that's not how it worked. It was rough. Just trying to figure out who I was and how do I get out of the stigma of I'm just a basketball player. I jumped into social work, then got out of that, was actually unemployed for a little while, walked into a dealership, they offered me an opportunity, and that really took off from there. I really enjoyed it. I was there for about 3 years selling cars and did awesome. There was another salesperson there. He used to be a teacher and he's selling cars and he went back into being teaching. And I had decided at that point that I said, yeah, that's what I need to do because I need time. Let me find something that can give me the time back, but also give me some more purpose in what I want to do. So that's why I decided to go back and get my master's in special education. By the time I got to education, I was starting to figure out that I could be Kevin Pittsnogle, the basketball player, but I also could be Kevin, just me. My first principal job ever at a school that had just been taken over by a state of emergency. When I heard the job was opening, I had decided that it could be a good opportunity for me.
He was ready for the challenge, just like being an athlete. You go above and beyond. He has that grit, he has that mental toughness, and he absolutely had what it took to get that school in a better place.
I like having opportunities to continue to grow, continue to learn, continue to get better, because if we're never in situations where we're uncomfortable, then we're never going to grow.
Part of what drives him is being better.
And even as far as I'm concerned, he pushes me to be better. He gives me, and sometimes gives me jobs I don't want to do, but it's like, you know what, that's helping to grow me as an assistant principal into what I can be. So he helps to push me to be a better person.
A lot of people think that he's just this rough around the edges guy, that he grew up in a trailer park and he just stumbled into this great life, but they really don't look at the fact that he worked really hard at each step of his life and really committed to be better.
I can tell you when I got the North Middle School principal position, there was articles that said, the former basketball player, can he be a principal? Having no idea what my background was to get to that point, like they just handed this basketball player a principal job, which doesn't work that way. I worked hard to get here, and I don't want it taken away because I played basketball.
With Kevin's leadership, we've been able to turn that around. One of my favorite phrases that he uses is progress over perfection. There's still work to do, but we're making progress in the right direction.
Even though he doesn't like it, he's going to get in the spotlight about things he's doing there, because when you do take a school from a state of an emergency and you're successful, people are going to want to know what you're doing.
Athletics, sports, and events, and those things are great, and they can be fun, but in the grand scheme of things, they're only going to take you so far in life. Like, obviously, I value God. I think that he has to be number one in your life, regardless of whether you go to church every week or you don't. I think you have to value God as number one. I then value my family and my family time, my kids, my wife, and then third, I value my career. And just being able to help provide and get into schools and help kids and hopefully provide them with some direction and some structures that they might not always have at home.
He cares about kids. And I think especially at North, he knows what those kids are going through in that community, and he can relate to them.
I always knew him as a basketball player. I'm not sure when he decided to get into education, but I think that this is probably his jam. This is where it's at, because here he's actually, I think, excelling even more than he did on the basketball court.
I think that when he has somebody who looks back at the name Pittsnogle, I think he wants to be known as the person who made a difference in people's lives.
He's able to do things with his kids. He's a principal. These are all the goals, and this is where he's happy. He has fulfilled what he feels has been his journey to get to where he is now.
I think his defining moment as a person is right where he is right now, that he has tried to navigate life after being a star in college. That is so hard to do.
Yeah, I don't like telling my story. I don't like being in the spotlight. I don't like being that person that speaks about me. I'd rather my actions speak about me. Who we are as people doesn't always have to be the athletic aspect. That can evolve and change as we grow and get older and realize that there's other things to life. You gotta be ready for your next. You gotta be ready to see what your next opportunity may be.